My dad always finds out where utility lines are buried before digging. Good old Dad.
Coach Jerry Peterson had to come back with Miller's line because McGowan had finished off killing the penalty. Brett Schneider came out fresh. So now we got McGowan back out against Granato's line.
Here's Granato inside the line. Couldn't get by Cronkite, who's had a strong evening. Now Relinga clears it out to center ice. Lance Wernick to Frank DeMeo. DeMeo banks it in off the glass. Behind the net, there's Lynn stopping it for Krayos. Krayos out to Hansen. Hansen leaves it there. McGowan skates out with it. Down the ice comes Pat McGowan. Quite a night for him. McGowan centers it. Hansen chopped at it. It comes back to Krayos. Krayos out in front. Puck is loose. Hansen with the shot rolling wide. Frank DeMeo after it for Burnsville. Tried to hit a breaking winger, but it hit him in the back of the skate. DeMeo follows up himself. He can't get loose. And now Marco Krayos has it. And here comes the Finnish defenseman, and he is smooth. Over the line he goes, but Tom Hansen had stepped in just ahead of him offside.
You'll probably see McGowan's line get an extra shift here. Coach Peterson might want him back out against Brett Schneider, so as the third lines come out here, you'll see Stansberry against Kivy. Don't be surprised when Brett Schneider comes out next if McGowan comes back out, so he gets the same matchup going, since it's worked so well for him thus far.
Just like a chess game for those coaches back there. Here comes Steve Dahl. Dahl centered it out in front, but they covered Paul Kivy in the slot very well, and Kennedy comes back. Boy, this Kennedy defense, they really shut you down. Here's Romanowski giving the puck away. There's a shot by Stansberry. It was knocked down, and it was knocked down. Bauer fires away. He's off the target. His shot was deflected. Here's a chance in front for Stansberry, and he was knocked off the puck. Now it's cleared out by Pearson into the center ice zone, and Bauer knocked it down with the high stick. With the score, Kennedy 3, Burnsville 1. This is Hockey 87, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
You got to use whatever you have.
We'll get suspicious when the coaches start wearing headsets. Here's a chance for Kennedy. And Hendrickson snuffs it out to lead Sundby. Sundby gives it to Brett Schneider, and they called it on the offside. It was close. Brett Schneider put it in the net, but Lynn did let up. He'd heard the whistle.
But you're exactly right. It's a good thing it was close, because there was the occasion. Brett Schneider's been bottled up all night long, but he gets out that one time without McGowan. If there's no offside, he's him alone. So I'm very surprised if they don't go right back to getting McGowan on Brett Schneider. He's been so effective tonight. Don't change something. You have 7:17 to go. You're winning by 2. You don't want to mess with what's working for you.
Renato Wernick with a steal and a backhand, but he didn't get much on it. Lynn will hold on. You can't make those kind of mistakes, because Wernick will make you pay for it, although he didn't have much on that shot.
And that, what we were talking about McGowan on Brett Schneider, that's taking nothing away from the defensive game of Jason Miller. But if you want Miller to play like McGowan, then you're just considering giving up totally his offense if he's going to go like McGowan was going all over the ice with Brett Schneider only.
From the draw, Kennedy up with it. Hansen, although Eckberg keeps it in at the right point. Now Kennedy with a long pass for Hansen too far. This one could be icing, but Hansen's speed causes Dennis to come out, and Dennis has to make a save off McGowan. With the score, Kennedy. With the score, Kennedy. 1. This is Hockey 87, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
The way this faceoff is set up, Hansen probably should be over on Wernick, because Granato's just going to go for him. If they win the faceoff, it's fine, but if they lose, they give up possession.
Well, McGowan won it, tried to spin, direct a shot on goal, but it was knocked down the ice by Burnsville. Wernick giving chase, but Krayos got there first. Here's a giveaway. Granato tried to barge in, and he was checked by Cronkite. Back the other way comes Kennedy as Hansen overskating the puck and turning now with it. Granato. Granato sidesteps a check in with Wernick, and Granato was belted. Feinberg is dumped in front. There is dumped in front. Granado slid it by the open corner. Hendrickson keeps it in. Now the Eagles move it out. And it slides down into Burnsville territory. Hendrickson takes a look. Kennedy making a line change. A long pass too far for Sunby. And it's called icing. 6:01 left.
Well, Granado came up with a good opportunity. Kennedy desperately has to make sure that Burnsville's getting no chance, but Granado makes his own chance with a nice sidestep as he gets right through the defenseman. His line mate picks up the puck. Warner's coming over that blue line. The way this faceoff is set up, Hansen probably should be over on Warner's because Granado's just going to go for him. If they win the faceoff, it's fine, but if they lose, they give up possession.
Well, McGowan won it, tried to spin, direct a shot on goal, but it was knocked down the ice by Burnsville. Warnis giving chase, but Crayos got there. Granado tried to barge in, and he was checked by Cronkite. Back the other way comes Kennedy as Hansen overskating the puck and turning now with it. Granado. Granado sidesteps a check in with Warnos, and Granado was belted. Feinberg is dumped in front. There's a rolling puck. Granado slid it by the open corner. Hendrickson keeps it in. Now the Eagles move it out. And it slides down into Burnsville territory. Hendrickson takes a look. Kennedy making a line change. A long pass too far for Sunby. And it's called icing. 6:01 left.
Well, Granado came up with a good opportunity. Kennedy desperately has to make sure that Burnsville's getting no chance, but Granado makes his own chance with a nice sidestep as he gets right through the defenseman. His line mate picks up the puck. Warner's coming over that blue line. They took it in deep, but they just couldn't quite connect. Kennedy hanging on to a 2-goal lead, 6:01 to go. And Burnsville knows they have to open up somewhat here.
The Eagles have thrown that stone wall up in front of Chris Lind, and it's certainly been tough to move in for Burnsville. They've been held scoreless since the 1:16 mark of the first period. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Jason Miller against Brett Schneider again here.
Brett Schneider wins the draw. See if Brett Schneider can get loose. Brett Schneider feeds it on the left wing. Scott Reddy against Kent Landreth. Landreth doesn't give him an inch, and the puck slides back out to center. Hendrickson going down deep in his zone, picks up the puck. Henderson kind of the unfortunate victim on that first Kennedy goal that bounced in off his skate. Landreth ahead to Decker. Decker clears it back into Burnsville territory. Kennedy makes the line change. There's Piddleco. Piddleco against Brett Schneider, who knocks him off the puck. Hendrickson up the boards. Sunby is pinned against the boards. Good defensive play, but then Sunby follows up and keeps it in the zone. Up against Mike Parent. Number 5 is Parent. Number 5 is Parent. Who tried the jam and slid it through the goal crease. So Burnsville is getting some chances, and they just haven't been able to connect.
That's right, Chris. They've had more chances in the last 5 minutes than they had in the previous period and a half, and they almost scored on the same type goal that they scored on in the first period. Kennedy trying to reverse. Brett Schneider just stood right there. They gave him the puck. He came out and tried to jam. First period worked. There it's it, but Kennedy's got to be certain of that reverse. Apparently Burnsville has seen them often enough to know they like to use it, and they're sending the man right to the boards when they attempt that, and they've picked off a couple here.